let me tell you of the days of high adventure.
Hey everybody, this is John.
And I'm Kevin.
And this is 6 Degrees of Schwarzenegger, the podcast where we take a long, hard look at some of our favorite action movies from the era of Arnold.
Schwarzenegger is the icon of the genre, and we're taking a deep dive into some of our favorite 80s and 90s cult action movies and breaking them all the way down. Hey, so we're back. Kevin, John, and Sam.
Sam.
So back for more
Sam here.
Fucking Point Break.
Sam,
Thank you for joining us,
again.
Sam.
See, I was going to ride one wave, but I got to ride the whole thing because I love this.
I love it right to the bitter end. So what, you've joined us before talking Predator, so I know you love that one. What's your Mount Rushmore, like your favorite 4 action flicks?
So, yeah, if we rewind to the Predator podcast, which we won't, that's my favorite movie of all time.
Okay, better than Point Break.
Yeah, because I saw it when I was, again, I keep talking about my life history, which I think is important here. I was born in communist Bulgaria, so and I moved to America, Chicago, when I was 11 years old. I saw Predator on a VHS tape maybe when I was about 7 years old in communist Bulgaria.
Was it like
everything? I'm
illegal?
Sure back then, I'm sure everything was good. Fucking Bulgaria, I mean, I'm sure, you know. So I saw all those action movies, but I remember seeing Predator when I was 7 years old, and I freaking was so scared. So scared. But I also loved Arnold, and I'd already seen other Arnold movies.
Was it in English? Were you speaking English? Or
it was either no. I did not speak English till I moved to America, so it must have been people speaking over, like dubbing it, or I doubt it was me reading it at that age. I'm sure it was dubbed.
Okay, that's awesome. So
I was terrified of Predator too.
So you love these two.
So, historically, you asking me just action movies or movies?
Yeah, action. No, we're strictly 80s, 90s action.
I love First Blood, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
My favorite line from that movie, I've mentioned it to Kevin in the 10 years we've known each other or more. I've probably mentioned to him about 100 times is, "Why are you pushing me?" in the cop car.
It's awesome. I mean, it's awesome.
You know, it's a real thing.
That
right?
movie's really serious. Yeah.
Oh my God, that movie is incredible.
Subject matter.
So I'm a crazy Stallone fan. I love Cliffhanger. That's up there. Terminator 2. So I wrote an article for my high school newspaper with a buddy of mine. So this is probably 1999. So we were 17 at the time. We rated the top 10 movies of the 90s. Now this is 17-year-old kids, you know, guys. So we're not going to put like Titanic or anything in that list.
No.
Our number one movie was Terminator 2.
It might have been like the quintessential movie of the decade. Really, like it's not like
Pulp Fiction was up there.
Pulp Fiction is great.
We had Pulp Fiction.
Nice.
So you get the gist. That was kind of I was a big Van Damme guy. I was a big Steven Seagal guy. I watched it all.
Okay. That's awesome. That's just like, I think, just like John and I.
And Conan the Barbarian
100%.
I saw in the theaters in Bulgaria. One of my earliest memories of seeing a movie in the theaters. And the other one, Willow.
Oh my God, I love Willow.
Classic.
Willow.
I do.
And the power went out for about 30 minutes. We were in the theater.
You waited for it to come back.
For 30
One
minutes.
of my earliest movie theater, like action movie memories, I think my earliest memory of being in a movie theater is seeing Crocodile Dundee.
Shit.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember much. I don't think I was getting to see much like quote unquote adult movies when I was like that age. I'm trying to think of the first movie that really blew me away with like some action was Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Oh yeah.
Jurassic Park.
That was the first VHS I ever owned.
Before that, it was like watching a bunch of Home Alone and like kiddie movies. But yeah, that Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves like opened my eyes to like, oh, this action's freaking awesome. Alan Rickman.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Dundee 2 was a good movie too.
Yeah. I love the Dundee movies. Anyway, we're here to talk about not Crocodile Dundee, as much fun as that would be, but we're here to talk about Point Break. So
we're fishing in like the Hudson River or whatever.
I love it with dynamite.
Yeah. Yes.
We digress.
But yeah, back to the Point Break. Well, last we saw, things were getting a little romantic between Johnny Utah and Tyler. out in the night on the ocean. They were hooking up on the beach. It was pretty romantic.
One of my favorite things is him waking up and be like, crap, I'm late for work. And he's already pissed off. I always forget his boss's name in the movie.
What, Harp?
Yeah, Harp. He already hates you. I mean, don't even rush at this point.
Well, we should paint a picture of what. So we're sitting in my weird wood paneled room. We're drinking some beer.
Your antechamber. What is this? Your salon.
You're sipping on what do you got over there?
I got the flagship beer of Atlanta, Sweetwater 420.
And, Delta carries it.
It's a fucking classic beer.
It is.
It's pretty cool to fly to London and just say, Sweetwater, please. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's
tall boys.
Delicious.
The only way to drink. Yeah, we love you, Atlanta. We love you, Sweetwater.
Definitely.
I think Sweetwater would have actually been a nice beer to sip on the beach, talking to Bodhi.
Absolutely.
Very nice.
I think Bodhi's a Sweetwater fan.
Absolutely. He likes that. Oh, wait. So back to the beach. Utah is like spooning. They're like spooned up on the beach. That's just odd to me. I don't know.
I like the space that they've been given, by the way. There's rules and unwritten rules, and then, like, surfers are territorial. I feel like Bodhi made it known where, like, don't bother them. Like, let them do their thing. They have his
blessing.
Yeah, but also, like, he probably knew what was happening, and he's probably like, give them their space. Don't be like going over there and splashing water on them or anything. Like, let them do their thing and let them chill out. I respect that from Bodhi.
Well, also remember that, it's probably cold on the beach. The Pacific's cold.
They're keeping each other warm.
The fire probably went most of the night.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the fire is like still smoldering when they wake up, along with their loins.
But yeah, I'm sort of a neurotic person by nature, and so I get the
neurotic or erotic.
Well, both. Neurotically erotic or erotically neurotic. I'm not sure. Anyway, I get nervous sweats when Johnny Utah wakes up and is freaking. He's like late because he's late for his first and his own raid. In the FBI.
They're gonna raid Warchild, the surfer goon, Nazi asshole's house. They think they're probably the ex-presidents. But he keeps coming back, man. He's like, I'm so late. I'm like so late. And then he keeps coming back for more kisses.
It's that Bodhi magic.
There's probably time for one like quickie if they make it really quick.
Oh yeah.
He kept smooching. Yeah.
I feel the love in that scene though. Like it's kind of as these type of movies go, like there's romance there. Like I feel like these two are really like falling for each other.
Granted, it's perpetuated on a lie.
Yeah, it's built on
there's a lot of lies in this movie. Everybody's lying to everybody though.
It's built on a foundation of sand, just like the beach.
Real quick, I forget, and this may be a brain freeze on my part, but does girl know that Bodhi's bank robber?
No, she doesn't. She should know though if they have a real history, or she should be curious where the money comes from.
Yeah,
but I don't think she knows anything.
I don't know. She might just be trying to live her life, like do her thing after her parents died. Like she might just be oblivious. And Bodhi was probably one of those relationships where it was probably like, I dig you, girl, but I'm a free spirit.
And I don't take it that it was like that type of relationship where they're all up in each other's business. Like there are a couple of free spirits.
Super chill.
Yeah.
But so finally he pulls himself away from her and he hauls ass over to Warchild's house just in time.
Conspicuously speeding down that street, bottoming out his Mustang like two or three times before
his car in this movie is so fucking awesome. It's a 1970 Mustang Mach 1. Dude, that's a good-looking car.
So that's back when they said to stunt drivers, like, just haul ass. Like, we're not going to do CGI or any of that crap and these cool.
He's like fishtailing.
Well, but yeah, it's like he's pulling up and it legitimately looks like whoever's behind the wheel is doing the vigorous turning from left to right.
It is like squealing tires. It's a total fucking muscle car.
Yeah.
Like, it's just an awesome car.
But also coming in hot to his own raid.
Yeah. Like, everyone's pissed at him, like, understandably. Especially Alvarez and Babbitt. They're like, what a fucking flake. You're late to your own raid.
I can't believe you're late to your own raid.
What a flake. They keep calling him a flake. And when I was like a 10-year-old watching the movie, it's like, what does flake mean? But
see plenty of those when you're an adult.
Yeah, no doubt.
So Angelo gives him the rundown of how it's going to go. Very specific instructions for Utah so as to not blow his cover. It's like, you keep your ass next to the window. You're backup only.
Like, you're backup only. I thought it was so far-fetched. There would be way more guys than So there's Pappas and 2 other guys.
6 guys total.
What, FBI guys?
Yeah, because Cullen.
Is there even 6? There's Cullen who's hanging back, like,
well, I guess
monitoring the
so
wire.
They're 5 guys.
And including Utah?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're like, they have no idea what they're walking into.
No.
Like, and they're walking in with like 3 armed guys and a couple more guys hanging back. It's like, and there could be an army in that house for all they know. I mean, there is. They find out there's like a lot of dudes in there. I just thought it was unrealistic that they roll in there with 3 guys and 2 more for backup.
Would you agree that this is sort of the line of demarcation for where this movie becomes an action film?
This is probably the first gratuitous violence in the movie.
But like before this, it's been like surfing, and the fight has been the most physical thing that's happened. The bank robbery happens, but it's like those are like isolated incidences, and this is like the first moment where it's like we're gonna crank this shit up to like 12.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously when the guy's foot gets blown off. I mean, that's
God.
Okay.
one of the best.
That's so great.
So I always love this scene. It is fucking intense. Pappas runs down the street. Scooby!
Looking for that lost dog.
The way he whistles is perfect.
I love that the fake dog's name is Scooby. Like, I was such a Scooby-Doo fan when I was like little. I was watching those cartoons on loop. So I loved it. If next dog, I got my dog sitting right next to us, Turk. Next dog I want to name Scooby. That's an awesome name.
That is a great name.
I like that. Yeah, I might roll with that.
So we get our agents surrounding the house. One peeks in and sees some rando who we've not seen before pouring beer over some plain Cheerios.
Is that I feel like that's a thing I've heard of before. I can't imagine actually doing it. Beer on your cereal.
It must have been something back then.
At Georgia State University, I recall very clearly when you and I roomed together, pouring Mountain Dew over some Raisin Bran.
Who did that?
Really? I did.
You did it? How was it?
It was terrible.
I think I got the idea.
I think I got, because I didn't have any milk. All I had was Mountain Dew.
You didn't just want to have
got
a dry?
what? Nah.
Water?
Nah.
Okay.
What did you say? You got what?
I got like bad gas. Like hardcore gas.
That's a chemical reaction.
It was not
a
lot
lot of sugar to be putting in.
It was not great. Anyway.
So that's happening in the kitchen. You got.
I don't know why these guys were preparing for a war, though. You know what I mean?
And well, Anthony Kiedis is like, I don't know what is going on with him. He's in the room like freaking out. Is he just high as hell?
I think Utah uses that little telescoping mirror to look at it. Anthony Kiedis is on the bed. I feel like he's listening to probably Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
It's just like raging. He's just like.
Do you think he was high?
Didn't he just?
He probably was high, but it's really early in the morning.
He was like banging his chest and stuff. So
I feel like he's just done some speed or heroin or whatever they do. Yeah.
Whatever Anthony Kiedis did anyway at that time.
There's a chick in the shower.
Yeah.
And there's just way too many people in this house for them to be like, to not fall back and regroup and like reassess their plan, the FBI.
And then in the silence of this moment where he's sort of assessing everything and very like we're getting the layout of everything, there's an awesome plot device introduced, which is the fucking loud ass lawnmower next door.
Genius, isn't it? All of a sudden, like now there's chaos. Like it was, they maybe they were all in contact with each other. Now they can't really hear each other anymore.
Right, but also I always thought this was effective because it's sort of like you and I were talking about in Die Hard, that there's this element of everyday life that people can identify with. Everyone knows what it's like to cut their grass, if like been around a yard or something. So it's like you're in this crazy situation and your next door neighbor is like cutting the grass.
So we do action movies on this podcast that are like a Predator or Conan the Barbarian, that are unrealistic worlds. And then there's stuff like this movie or Die Hard where I feel like it's set in the real world.
Yeah.
Where someone mows their lawn, or you get whatever, you're scared of flying. You know what I mean? Like you can still be the hero and be nervous about flying. You know what I mean? So yeah, I totally dig it. As this is all happening, like Pappas is knocking on the door and the guys all start breaking out all these assault weapons. And stuff like that in the room. And Utah's able to see it, but he can't warn the guys. He's like, don't, pull him back. Like, don't let him show his badge. They got an arsenal in here.
The lawnmower is too
everyone's
loud.
like, I can't hear shit.
Yeah.
Like, everything's just chaos now. The plan's gone to shit.
Warchild runs in after they've come in and gotten their weapons and says that there are 2 more agents out back and then you get your.
Apparently those dudes weren't doing a great job of hiding.
But then we get
so when he comes in, he's like, "There's 2 more out back," and that's when Anthony Kiedis, my guy's like, "Oh shit, we're fucked." He's a good actor.
Yeah,
he was probably high on the set, but he was a good actor, man. I bought everything he said.
I want to read his biography because he has to mention this in there, right?
Shit, we're fucked.
Well, he had to upstage Flea, who was in Back to the Future.
Yeah, they were all probably trying to
period.
act.
Back to the Future 2 and 3, 89 and 90.
He was great. Anyway, the gang is 100%. The Nazi assholes are ready to go out in a blaze of glory. They're like ready to shoot whoever comes in. It's like, this is it. We don't even care.
Yeah.
Pappas takes the door.
He grabs the woman. He almost used her as a human shield. And Bunker pops out with the machine gun, and he just opens fire, hitting nothing.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, Bunker, you suck. That's pretty weak. I mean, what kind of goon are you? You can't shoot anyone down a hallway.
Well, and then immediately, Johnny Utah, not 4 minutes ago, was given instructions to hang back and be
backup. But this is the point at which backup is called for, I think. Right, it's a full-on shootout.
But it was also, the purpose of being backup was so as to not blow his cover. Bunker immediately sees him.
Yes. Bunker sees him, and he's like, "Fuck you, pig." But to his credit, Utah drops him quick. A couple of shots to the chest, right?
And then Warchild sees him shooting at him. I mean, they've all seen him. So even if, at this point, word is arguably going to travel fast if these guys go to jail.
Yes, I guess so. I've always wondered about that. So they've seen him. Warchild obviously could say, yes, this surfer guy, Johnny, is a cop. But who's he going to tell? Maybe they keep him in solitary.
They keep him in solitary. Do you think it's
phone call.
They know that if they bring it up during their talks with the lawyer, that they say, if you promise not to mention that Johnny Utah is one of our assets, we'll lighten your sentence.
I don't know how that works. It's not going to go well for Warchild.
It's all
whatever. He's not going to get out of jail anytime soon.
Does Warchild know about the bank robberies?
I think I don't think that any of them are wise to the ex-president's
Maybe only
identities.
what they would have seen on the news, right?
So who would he tell then?
About that Utah's a cop?
Yeah.
Just whoever. And then word gets around the community. But
they might not know who Johnny Utah is, though.
He probably doesn't know that guy by name.
No.
He might be like, that guy that was with Bodhi that one day is a cop.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a good point. I don't know. I was just thinking
those guys are dumb anyway. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I never gave that a moment's thought. I just think he's probably cut off from civilization once he's hauled off to jail. And Babbitt and fucking Alvarez, it takes the two of them to take down Tom Sizemore in the kitchen, the unarmed guy eating the cereal.
Naked lady freaking out in the shower, understandably.
Yeah.
She's like, here's my tits.
What? Pappas shoots the one other guy.
Yeah.
The guy who never had much of a name or anything. The fourth guy, long, straight, blonde hair, he shoots him right in the fucking head. He's using one of the women as a human shield, I think.
It was the 20th firing of his firearm in the field.
Oh, shit. He's up.
And one shot.
How many kills he has in those?
20.
You think it's 20 shots, 20 kills?
I think so. I mean, look at that. That's marksmanship.
That was a stone cold kill. He shot the dude right in the head.
That was an extreme, very violent scene.
It was gruesome.
Johnny Utah's second, third week on the job? I mean,
he's a novice still, and it's shit's popping off.
Well, then the real MVP of the Nazi assholes.
Oh, the naked lady.
Yes. The naked lady from the shower.
Asses. Yeah. She beats the shit out of Utah.
Yeah.
Lays him out, kicks him in the face.
Yeah. What do we got? We got Anthony Kiedis is trying to run out of there, and he gets someone flings a door open into him, and he shoots himself in the foot.
Yeah.
Dude, that looked so painful.
That scene to this day.
Oh, you got to think about foot injuries.
Foot injuries.
We were talking about that on Die Hard.
His foot looks like it exploded.
Yeah, the effect of the pellet going off in the shoe is it's an explosion.
You feel his pain, and then his face.
You say he's a good actor.
He's his face sells it. It's cartoonish, but I can only imagine.
That's how I would be.
If your foot's basically a nub now.
Either that or you'd be Murphying, you're so in shock that you can't even scream because your hand is gone.
RoboCop is where the fuck's my hand?
My hand is gone.
It's not on my body anymore. Dude, yeah, that shit looked like it hurt. Meanwhile, Naked Woman's laid waste to Utah. Then she stabs Babbitt in the back with a big ass knife. Yeah, she is like doing a lot more damage than any of the goons.
She's the real MVP.
Yeah, this woman though, she is ride or die for these guys. Like, she's ready to kill policemen.
You know, they probably got with some tough women because they were tough guys.
She was all
you know what I'm
tatted
saying?
up.
Like,
Yeah,
she was probably smacked around every night by these guys anyway. she could take it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Anthony
but she was like,
100%.
she was brainwashed. Like, she was ready to kill cops for them.
High, you know, if you do coke and weed and whatever else and heroin for like 1-2 years straight, you can do whatever the hell you want. You know what I mean? Like, you can
or crystal meth. Since
stab cops and, you know, feel like you're invincible.
How did Utah wind up inside the house? I guess he kicked in the back door, right?
Yeah, he came in. He came in the back door.
Because he's in there. Yeah, he killed Bunker, and now he tackles Warchild through the window.
Yeah. Well, Pappas knocks out Naked Lady, and then Utah,
did he? How did he do it?
He
like clubbed her?
Yeah, just like knocked her out.
She was wild. Yeah, she was on something. She and Ketis had just done whatever.
But she was in the shower. She was like she was enjoying it. She was enjoying
the cold shower.
And Ketis was in there raging on the bed. Just like,
he was waiting for his turn in the shower. Raging. Fucking Ketis, man.
So yeah, Utah tackles Warchild through the window and they're wrestling. They knock over a lawnmower.
That's right. They wind up right next to the lawnmower that was established earlier. This is a fucking intense scene.
That looked very painful if your face hit that thing.
What I like about this scene is Warchild won that fight. Like, they were fighting in Warchild.
But he should though. The guy's
he's so much bigger. But that's what I'm saying. This movie's kind of realistic. Like, Utah's not the guy who's just beating up anyone he comes across. Like, if he runs into someone bigger and stronger than him, then he's going to lose.
He's got that quarterback power.
So he's like, Warchild's going to shove his face into the mower. Dude, that was intense. Do you remember that shot with
oh yeah,
it looked pretty real. I don't know how they did it.
It's almost like if it was like a 2019 lawnmower, it would have killed you, but it wouldn't have hurt as much. That lawnmower, because it's from like the late 80s, probably.
Yeah, it was like going
like that. Yeah. It would have like.
It would have peeled your face off.
Just by degrees, just divots out of your face.
Like getting stabbed by like a knife that's not very sharp. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's a good analogy.
Yeah. So he was about to get it, and Pappas saved him. Pappas
had a funny line after he did that.
Pappas is a marksman. He like shot the lawnmower from distance, like from a long way off. He shot the lawnmower and killed the engine.
And then he said,
then he said, "Speaking to the microphone, squid brain."
Also,
you remember that?
The lawnmower engine was loud enough that the poor guy cutting his grass never heard a single gunshot, I guess.
Yeah, he was still out there mowing.
Was he listening to music?
He did have headphones on too.
Oh, thank you so much.
There's no plot holes in this movie.
Remember, music early 90s, you listened to it very loud.
Air fucking tight. What do you think he was listening to?
Chili Peppers.
I think it was
Nirvana, man, 91.
Metallica or like fucking something death metal.
It was like an old black guy.
He loves that shit. He was listening to Guar. Whatever it was, he was like vibed out on it. It could have been Earth, Wind, and Fire. We don't know.
Yeah,
but exactly. That's fucking hilarious to me. Utah's like rattled. He's got like PTSD after the thing. And Pappas is like soothing him and telling him, you did really good. Like, it's a lot different than shooting paper targets.
They just got a bunch of bad guys. Just obviously not the right bad guys. And then he gets freaking talking to.
You got Anthony Kiedis is like screaming in the background through the whole scene. He's like, "Oh, don't touch it! Don't touch it!" Do you remember that? I feel like I'd be saying the exact same shit.
Yeah, no. Please leave me alone.
Yeah. But anyway, he's shaken up by it, and that's when Harp comes in with Tom Sizemore, who we find out was like undercover DEA.
Oops.
Well, do you think I like my hair like this? Fucking Harp is like chewing those guys out. He's the one who fucking signed for the warrant. I mean, he's on the hook as much as the rest of them.
Yeah, but I mean, all these guys should have been like, this was very plausible. Not, oh my God, this is a wild goose chase.
It's not like these guys were a couple of innocent dudes.
They had an arsenal. They saved the entire neighborhood.
Guys.
Yeah,
they're like Sizemore comes in full Winnebago man. God damn son of a bitch.
I love Sizemore's performance in this. He's like,
this is before he became Sizemore.
Yeah.
He's in this for like 10 seconds and just
he's wired, man. He's like electric on the screen.
The tattoo.
He's like, you think I like this hair? Yeah, you think I like these clothes? My wife wants me to stay at Ramada. And that's when Pappas is like busting his balls. He's like, nice tattoo, Deets. He's like, yeah, you like that? Fuck you.
I like that they're like contemporaries. They've been around for a while together. That's funny.
Like, so I don't know what the communication is supposed to be between departments, but it's not Pappas and Utah's fault that they didn't know that there was a DEA operation going on. They didn't do anything wrong.
You would think that now in the government today that would be flagged. If you like enter that into a database and you're like trigger an active investigation,
it's like, then you say, oh, there's an active investigation going on there. Like, communicate. But at this time, I guess, I just don't see what they necessarily did wrong.
Yeah. Still ended up being a total disaster in that regard.
But so Tom Sizemore, he reveals these guys can't be the ex-presidents because they were out of town when some of the robberies were happening or whatever. So they're kind of back to square one, right? They're like, shit. They're all hella confused, I guess. Utah's like lying in bed there with Tyler, like deep in thought.
Just like stewing.
Thinking about what went wrong. I mean, probably though, like this, obviously his career is pretty short, but this is like the biggest fuck up that he's had. But
he's gotten in a fight. He's gotten in a freaking shootout.
He killed somebody now.
Slept on the beach with a chick. I mean, think about it.
I never noticed until rewatching this recently the little Ohio State miniature football helmet on his bedside table.
That's on my thing. That's on my notes. It's like his alarm clock is a little Ohio State helmet. That's awesome. Nice detail by the production designer.
Oh, for sure.
But the Bodhi and the rest come around knocking on the door and they're like, come surfing with this dude.
And everybody's
surfing now. Everybody's learning how.
Round, get around.
But so Utah and Tyler go out to go surfing.
So here's the $1 million question. Why?
Why go surfing?
Because why do they go and grab him to go surfing?
Just because the big waves were breaking. I think they're like, you're part of the crew now.
That's right. You're part of the game.
I still think Bodhi's in love with Utah. Bodhi's wants to know what the hell's going on with Utah.
Well, I mean, not like in love in a sexual way, but he's just like, he's enamored with him.
He needs to know what Utah's all about. Like what makes him tick. Why he showed up all of a sudden.
It's like any cult leader. You need to know that you've got buy-in from the people that are that you're trying to get into your cult.
Yeah. Because if you're Johnny Utah, you're like, why the hell are these guys knocking on my door right now asking me to, you know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense, but he has to play along.
Bodhi's the ultimate searcher. He's a free spirit. He does what he wants. He's going to show up at your house anytime, day or night. He's going to try to wrangle you into stuff. Right?
Yeah.
But if Bodhi's circle is hard to get in, then why is he already inside his circle? So Johnny needs to put two and two together.
I feel like Bodhi feels like those two were drawn to each other, he and Utah, like for a reason, and he's trying to figure out what the reason is. Like that
if he's that spiritual,
they're like
that makes
kindred
sense,
spirits.
Yeah.
You know?
If he respects him, he probably wants to be around him. And,
So they get him out on the beach, and Utah never even gets in the water because he sees the four of them surfing like in unison, like all in the same wave.
That's such an amazing scene.
It all falls into place, right?
They're all kind of laughing, and
Gromit is like mooning the other guys, and that was John. You had a problem with that?
Well. All right, so
mooning
the whole case has been has been predicated on a very few pieces of evidence. We have the strand of hair, which is the one piece of physical evidence, the scuff marks, which gave the carnauba wax residue, and a blurry camera shot of some dude's bare ass that are like, look at the tan lines. So
do you think he was studying those tan lines?
So I think that like Gromit or Nathaniel or whoever it was that was doing the mooning, that like one poor social habit has brought the downfall of the whole game.
I believe if he didn't do that, I think the light was going to come on for.
No, I totally agree.
And there was a thing Tyler said about like, what are you like? What's the matter? You look like you've seen a ghost, and then it played back that line from Pappas where he's like, these guys are ghosts. Yeah. Like it all fell into place in that one moment. But he sort of gets that.
I gotta go.
His face goes blank, and he's like, I just remembered. I got a meeting. I gotta go.
I got clients.
See, like that to me is an amazing moment.
So
you don't really see it coming.
Do you think this does this come as a shock, or is this something we've known was going to happen sooner or later? Like we've figured out that it must be Bodhi and his crew that are the bad guys, right?
I think you don't know how he's going to find out, and I think the way he finds out, you're like, wow, that's cool.
Absolutely.
I thought was cool.
I thought it was really, really effective.
But what he
also.
actually does, apparently, Utah, is he goes and he just sort of trails Bodhi the rest of the day. Because next time we see him, he's catching up with Pappas. And he's saying, I followed Bodhi all day. You know, he went here, he went there, he went to a bank for a while.
He went to a Tower Records and bought some CDs.
He went to a Tower Records and bought some CDs.
Yeah.
I was like, that is badass.
He bought the latest Chili Peppers.
I keep bringing up 90s music to this movie is because it's like that's exactly what that time was. It was grunge and a bunch of like spirits like that. And you know, we discussed this.
He probably bought that Temple of the Dog.
We discussed this for a second. Yeah, I'm a huge Pearl Jam fan. Eddie Vedder is a surfer. You know, he came up with a couple of his first Pearl Jam songs when he was surfing. So Bodhi, you expect him to go to Tower Records. Like, why in the world would you not? 1991, that's where you'd go. That era, right? It had that will never exist ever again.
You go to a store and you buy your music like a real person.
You'd
like a library, right?
Recommendations. I mean, it was before you go to, the Apple store, go to iTunes and read the reviews. Sure. But it's like you could go and a clerk, somebody would be like, let me recommend this album.
I really like this album. What else?
I'm getting goosebumps right now.
Exactly. Yeah. But you walk in there and it's like the smell of things, the way records feel and the way they look, the actual pictures in the front of them, right? Those things matter, like what you put in front of your album. Now, do you even know what like the front of a Beyonce album looks like? No, really, right? Because it goes straight to digital. So this is a culture that's kind of gone away forever, and this kind of movie it's a time capsule of one of the greatest moments in history. No question.
One of the greatest.
Agreed. There's also an Easter egg in here as
tell me
as Keanu as Johnny Utah's laying out
Patrick's Roadhouse.
Patrick's Roadhouse,
which is a real restaurant.
Yeah, but it's also Patrick Swayze's Roadhouse.
Swayze was starred in Roadhouse.
Yes.
Was the restaurant named for the movie?
I don't know.
We'll have to research
Patrick's
that.
Roadhouse. I was like, that's cute.
That's very cute. Pappas, he's skeptical of the whole thing. I mean, he's basically. He's like, he says, I think the last time you had a hunch, I had to kill a guy.
But he's also seen them packing up their shit and putting it in storage too.
Yeah, he does. That's where Utah gets him. He's like, look, this is our last chance to get them. Like, they're going to be blowing town. The month is September's almost over.
Yeah.
Like, if we don't get them now,
they're going to be gone. I like the sense of urgency of the movie. You know what I mean?
It's nice to have a ticking clock.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Pappas is all right. Let's do it first thing tomorrow morning.
They agreed to at least go stake out the bank.
Right.
How do they know the bank again? Because it's the bank he looked at.
That Bodhi was like in the bank for 30 minutes that day or something. He's like, he's casing it, right?
We're basically closing
The Assured Trust is the name of the bank.
Yeah.
We're closing in on one of the greatest moments in movie history.
We're almost there, my friends.
Sam, is this your Ellis moment?
We talk about the whole Die Hard movie is building to that scene where Ellis goes face to face with Hans, and he's like trying to negotiate
drinking a Coca-Cola.
Yes, exactly.
That's for me the best moment of Die Hard.
It's a great moment.
It's like
that is my great. The best moment's coming up. Yes.
Okay. Yes. So they're early morning. Well, not that early, but they're at the bank. It's 10:30.
10:30. Pappas is
hungry as hell.
He's loving some Calvin and Hobbes.
He's reading the funny pages. Another thing.
He's like cracking himself up.
And it's another thing. Do people know what funny pages are anymore? I used to every Sunday I would read the funny pages. They weren't even that funny.
I would beg my dad, can we please go to Daniel's store, which is just down the street? And it's like, can we please get a Sunday paper so we can get the comics? I want to get the comics.
I just want to read Peanuts. I want to read Garfield. Fucking Mark Trail.
But I love
Family Circus.
The Pappas is like cracking himself up on a stakeout, and he's literally
imagine how obnoxious it would be to sit in the car with this guy for hours?
With Angelo,
or would it be hilarious?
It'd be hilarious.
Okay. I think after a while he'd burn you out.
It smells like onions and
so
cheese.
So they've probably been there since the bank opened, which is 8 or 9 in the morning. Yeah. It's now 10:30. Pappas is reading these comics. He's working up an appetite. He sends Utah.
And then this is where we start explaining the actual food we need to get.
He says,
around the
corner, there's a sandwich shop. They sell meatball sandwiches. Best I ever tasted.
The best.
Would you run over there and get me 2?
So this is all well and good, right? This is probably part of the script, right? But the next moment, I guarantee you, was straight up like.
Well, Utah's like, it's 10:30 in the morning. He's like, go Go get me the sandwiches, kid.
Which again is fine, but I do think Gary Busey completely.
Oh, when he came out the window?
Oh, that was all him.
He yelled behind him. It was somebody do it.
It's a masterclass in acting.
So first he could just scream or he can open the door, but no, he kind of literally pulls himself out of the window.
Very conspicuous.
And then they're supposed to be inconspicuous at this point. He's like, Utah! Give me 2. Like he asked for 2 sandwiches, which to be fair, I would want 2, right?
Yeah.
Why would you get 1? Get hungry, be like, go again. They don't time.
Best that you've ever had.
The best sandwich you ever had? Yeah, you had 2 of them.
Meatball sandwiches.
He was genuinely concerned that Utah did not understand that he wanted 2 sandwiches.
He wanted 2 for himself. Like, don't give me 1 for me and 1 for you.
2.
I want 2.
I wanted a meatball sandwich after that scene. And the thing is, you expect like tacos or something like in California, but meatball sandwiches?
Listeners at home, we just gorged ourselves on delicious sausages, and I'm famished for a meatball sub right now.
I would eat one. Ever tasted? You gotta eat it.
I would.
That to me, that's the first thing I think about when I think about this movie is that
Utah.
moment. Give me 2.
Yeah. it might as well be like a hello between Kevin and I.
Yeah, I walk up behind Sam all the time at work. Utah, give me 2.
It's awesome. So,
and it's probably the funniest, like, light-hearted moment of the movie.
Well, you know things about to get heavy.
The whole movie just takes a freaking turn.
I'd also just like to point out that 2 meatball sandwiches, a tuna on wheat, and 2 lemonades was $7.84.
Then the early 90s were a beautiful time.
Was that the full order?
The full order.
Yeah, you got
3 sandwiches and 2 lemonades.
Yeah.
Tuna on wheat, and that girl served those things up in less than 30 seconds.
And as this is happening, like we see the ex-presidents pull up behind Utah. It's great directing.
The way it's filmed.
It's fantastic.
They just pull up, get up, do their thing.
Like, he's like looked away. It's timed perfectly. He looks back over his shoulder and they're already in. So he's
awesome.
Like, he carries the sandwiches back to the
they
car.
Pull up in that giant Lincoln.
And he's like, "You see that Lincoln pull up?" And he's like, "What Lincoln?" And by the time he gets back, they're already coming out.
I'm already at this point. I'm like, fuck! Don't throw them away. Don't throw them away.
The sandwiches?
Throw them away.
Same. I was pissed too. I was like, Pappas gets 1 bite.
No, that's when Pappas is like, "I'm so hungry. I should have had you give me 3." Another great line. I don't know if that was in the script.
I could have eaten the ass end of.
He said he'd eat the ass out of our dead rhinoceros.
Delicious.
Anyway.
I said at least Pappas gets 1 bite.
He did get the 1 bite. Then he chucked them?
The sandwiches will be I don't know.
They're in the car.
They're in the car.
I don't know. I think they were chucked somewhere. It could be messy no matter what.
That's a bummer.
That's a bummer, man.
So Utah just
pivotal moment.
Instantly, he's like, FBI, freeze. Like, so to me, this moment's like huge. It's like the world stops spinning. Like, oh my gosh, they know who he is now. Like, he's no longer undercover. There's no coming back from this. What's the name? LBJ wants
that,
to
though. Why wouldn't they follow them, you know? And
that's a great point.
Why would he? I think, once again, it's a rookie error. He's freaking way over his head.
Dude, like, he's young, dumb, and full of
Yeah, exactly. So he should basically, they should have basically waited for them to drive off, called backup, follow those assholes. They wouldn't even know they were being followed. And taking care of business. He starts running after.
Is that what Pappas would have done if it was his decision?
Pappas is also a hothead. I don't know. I mean, he's probably.
Pappas would have followed with a sub, eating the sub.
He would have said, "We'll get him tomorrow."
But FBI freeze, like you've just spent weeks embedding yourself in their camp, and now you're gonna do what in the middle of the road?
Himself.
Start shooting.
Sam, that's
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, you're giving it some thought. Yeah. And like LBJ goes to shoot him.
Yep.
And Reagan stops him from doing it.
Reagan is,
we don't
Bodhi,
know for sure, but obviously it's got to be Bodhi. He's the leader.
Yeah. Utah opens fire in the middle of the street.
In a crowded street,
hitting the car shooting multiple times, shooting out the back glass.
I love in movies where the good guys, open fire in public. Because I'm pretty sure that's like against the rules.
Yeah, it is.
Like they would never say.
But why would he be shooting basically his buddies?
Is he subconsciously wants to help them get away?
I don't know.
No, I think he literally, that moment was his moment. He's like, this is my moment. I got this.
I think this is
pure instinct.
This is going back to definitely. I want to get these guys. Definitely.
So later on, we'll like explore his motivations a little bit more, I guess. But so in this moment, you think he's giving 100% to trying to catch them?
I think so.
I think at this point he doesn't know what he's doing. It's kind of like doing without thinking.
Okay.
And I think he hasn't thought about what's going to happen next. Like, A, people could get killed. B, I could get killed. C, I mean, this is like freaking Bodhi and those guys. Like,
That's a good point. I think he's just acting.
Yeah.
Just acting.
Again, he's had a tough month.
So they get into a rowdy ass car chase.
They get into a car chase. It's like, as car chases go, it's like, it's okay. It's middle of the road.
The car chase is okay.
The car chase is like the hors d'oeuvre. It's like the appetizer.
The unused boosh.
I do love the moment where the cars get like right beside each other and Pappas yells out the window, "We got you!" And Roach says, "You ain't got shit." And then, to Roach's credit, then Pappas just plows his car right into like the toll booth or whatever, the pay station at the parking lot.
I also love when like right at the onset, I don't know, it's like maybe a minute and a half or so into the chase, like that Lincoln doesn't handle so great.
They say this car is shitty.
Nixon says, this car is a piece of shit. Like,
yes, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's that real world moment.
Why do we get this Lincoln?
Where it's not like Ronin, great movie, but they're driving like souped up like supercars,
like Audis and shit,
and like, you know, whatever. These guys are driving real world cars. That like this car's got bald tires and it like the brakes are shot and it's like, and then you know. What Pappas is driving some shitty ass Ford. Yeah. And like, it's just that type of movie where it's in the real world.
Exactly.
Car chases aren't like you're drifting around corners and like all that shit.
He wrecks the car. The oil and the brakes, you know.
And so Pappas wrecks his car.
The ex-presidents drive over some backup spikes.
Yeah, they got flat tires, but they see this as their moment. Like, now we can switch cars.
Right.
Like, while they're sort of incapacitated for a minute.
Utah's on foot at this point.
Yeah, he bails. And he's like chasing after him on foot. They pull in the gas station to switch out cars.
I don't know why they had to set it on fire, right? Is that?
I think they didn't have a chance to clean it the way they normally would.
Cover
so I think they want to burn up any DNA, hair, all that.
That was
shit.
Bodhi doing it again, wasn't it?
Yeah, he says he says emergency sanitation. Mm-hmm. So I guess
that's pretty sharp.
Normally they would take their time, maybe have a little more time to like make sure that nothing was left behind.
That seems great though, seeing him with a mask.
Dude, it's epic. That shot where he's holding the thing and shooting flames.
It's awesome.
And the gas station attendant that he sprays that guy down with gas at the gas station. That's Jeff Amata, who's like turned up on this podcast before. He's like just a famous ass stuntman. He was like he was featured in Big Trouble in Little China, but he's done stunts in that, Lethal Weapon, Roadhouse, Tango and Cash. He like has 200 stunt credits.
Jesus.
Oh, no way.
To me, most impressive, he like choreographed all the fights in the Bourne movies, which have the best fights, right?
Well, he did?
Yeah.
Shit.
He's like real good with knives and stuff, this guy Amata, but he choreographed
and rolled up newspapers.
If you choreograph the fights for the Bourne movies, those are the best fights I've ever seen on film, like the most realistic feeling fights. Oh, so he's a badass, awesome. And he gets sprayed down in gasoline in this thing, and Bodhi's like got the lighter, and he's like, "Don't do it, man. Don't do it." And then he runs off.
He's badass.
Yeah.
Again, just a badass moment.
And he torches the car, as we just said. It's beautiful.
And then we get a flying tackle from Johnny Utah.
Fucking Utah's gone like fucking Maverick. He like jumps through the flames and tackles Reagan, I guess, / Bodhi.
They both jump up a little bit on fire.
Yep. Pappas arrives and he starts shooting at the guys. So the guys.
How realistic of a scene is that? It's badass, right? I mean, like that could completely, like you said, it's not like flying through corners and whatever. And you hit up. There's like a flaming gas station.
These guys aren't like professional drivers. Insane. You know what I mean? Like they're doing the best they can.
But they're also improvising in the moment. Like, let's burn it. Oh my God. But
so once Pappas is there shooting at him, like the rest of the ex-presidents are like, all right, peace out, Reagan. Like, we got to go. Like,
and the whole time they've been complaining, like, why is he taking so long?
He was enjoying burning that car.
I think so, a little bit.
I would be too. That was like pretty rad.
Yeah.
At any rate, though, then so Reagan gets up and he's running away, and that's when the peak moment, maybe action moment of the whole movie. Yeah. Is like the foot chase.
Oh my God.
Utah's chasing after Reagan.
Again, though, can you think of a foot chase in a movie before that movie like that?
Not really. The only movie
I can think of 100 since, mostly with Tom Cruise or Daniel Craig.
The only good one I can, you're right. Actually, the Mission Impossible shit was awesome. The
Bond,
Casino Royale.
Yeah. But anything before this?
Born when he's on the rooftops in Marrakesh or whatever. Yeah. Was insane.
But also in 2, like there are tons of great foot chases in the first 2 also. Like, oh my God.
But this movie like made that a thing that you could have be as exciting as a car chase.
Way to go, Catherine Bigelow.
She's a badass.
Yeah.
Great director. Dude, there's like so many.
Just the doors that were closing in people's faces.
It's like twists and turns.
He threw a dog at him. I mean,
that shit. The awesomeness cannot be overstated. But yeah, the parts where Reagan was trying to sabotage him with like obstacles.
When he throws the dog at him, that's the peak.
Yeah.
And then he like sort of catches the dog and he kicks it away and you hear that yelp.
Was that Swayze, do we think, running in that mask?
No.
Okay.
It was 100% not.
Okay.
But they said when they were shooting this that he was in Europe doing like publicity for Ghost. So he didn't see the foot chase at all until he saw the finished movie.
Oh shit.
And he was like, oh, that's fucking great.
Wow.
He's like, yeah, you make me look really good in this.
Isn't being an actor the craziest shit in the world? You show up for like, and you're shooting scenes all out of order and stuff, and then you see the finished product and you're like, okay.
Oh, it really came together. Yeah, I don't know what. I think probably as an actor, you're like, I don't know what to expect. Is this going to come together good? Is it going to be bad? Like, you may not know until you see the finished product. Yeah. With music and everything.
That's
terrifying. If the effects were really bad, you're like, oh shit, this is bad. You know?
Well, that's why so many big actors have had flops. They didn't sign up for flops. They turned out to be flops.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wasn't their fault. I also love particularly the moment where Utah gets hit by the lady with the vacuum cleaner.
She's like, get the fuck out of my house.
Breaks the sliding glass door.
And it also, it's like a good, like, I guess, characterization of like the not the slums, but just your.
It's like these tight alleys.
Regular, like, kind of working class neighborhood in LA, you know what I mean? And then, of course, any one of those neighborhoods has the famous canals that they end up to.
Yeah, like the LA River.
When you think about like
so many great action scenes in so many movies have happened in those canals.
Yeah, my top two are Terminator 2 and this one.
So that's awesome. Yeah. You know, Reagan jumps down in there and Utah follows him, but he hurts that knee.
So to me, that to me is my favorite moment of like as far as serious stuff in this movie is when he jumps down and messes up his knee.
And the way they laid in the knee detail earlier in the movie, it made total sense in the scene. But then when it like resurfaces here, you're like, oh shit, that damn knee of his.
So he had him, right? He's on him. And you forgot about the knee at that point.
Oh yeah.
And all of a sudden, boom, he's like just crying in agony basically. And then, he pulls out the gun then, right?
Yep. He's got the gun and he's got him dead to rights. Like, Reagan's trying to climb out of the canal.
I love the look through the mask when he's looking back at him.
The close-ups on his eyes.
Because he's like, he knows he's not going to shoot him. He's like, he's not going to shoot me. Bodhi knows that he can't take that shot. Johnny can't take that shot.
I love this. And this reenactment in Hot Fuzz.
So in Hot Fuzz, the two main guys, Nick Frost and Simon Pegg, he's like saying like, Keanu Reeves, he's going to shoot Patrick Swayze, but he can't do it because he loves him so much. So he points his gun up in the air and he shoots it and he says, ah!
He says, have you ever fired your gun up in the air and gone, ah? He's like, no, never fired my gun up in the air and gone, ah.
In this moment, like on paper, it's a cheesy moment, but in the moment you're watching the film,
I like it.
You buy it.
Yeah.
He can't do it.
It's heartbreaking.
He doesn't want to. He wants to put the cuffs on Swayze. He doesn't want to kill him.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't want to see him die.
Exactly.
He cares about him a lot.
But at that point, I don't even know who I'm rooting for. So I'm like,
you're on like Team Bodhi?
I think I'm probably a little more on Team Bodhi at this point in the movie.
Well, then you win this round because Bodhi gets away. He like goes running off. He knows, Utah can't take the shot, and now it's like,
well,
where does the movie go from here? At this point,
is being on Team Bodhi, I'm blaming Utah for this reckless behavior. Because I'm like, there's no reason why you had to completely ruin everything. Like there was probably a smarter way to go about the investigation. You just didn't need to blow everything up.
But when you're an adrenaline junkie,
of course
you have to.
It's true. That's actually where we're going to leave off, I think, for this episode.
Oh my God.
But like, there's more to talk about with Point Break for sure. We haven't even gotten to like half the extreme adrenaline shit. So, we hope you'll be with us.
Hasta la vista.
We'll be back.